that's a perfect segue. Um, when you're talking about putting wheels on a bike, because at this point in time, we're going sure I got two more topics. We're gonna fucking do these two topics, and it's probably gonna be. But regardless, yeah, it is what it is. Listen,
Yeah.
I don't care. Regardless, I'm gonna get these. I'm gonna get these questions in. Fuck that. One of the things that I love about, or that really uh, attached me to Gimmick Infringement, was the myriad of topics, segments that y'all have. But uh, one of my favorites is one day when you have kids, right? And your stories, your tales of you and Freya, your daughter. They always hit me because I'm a parent. I'm a parent of 4. But the question at hand is this. Well, actually twofold. One, when you found out you was having a daughter, how did you feel? And did it change you? Well, did it change how you were going to tackle fatherhood? That's question number one.
I was elated, and no, I was rooting for a daughter the whole time.
Okay.
I was praying it wasn't a boy. I was hoping so hard that it wasn't a boy, because I know what an asshole I was. So I did not want anything that was going to end up like me. Exactly. I was hoping for a little girl. I thought I would, if I ever sent you a picture of my wall in my classroom, my newer classroom, I decided that in my old classroom I had them all up on a bulletin board, and this one I just Mod Podged them to the wall. They want to make me move again. I'm taking that wall out with me. They're glued up there. Senior pictures. I got 100, 200, 300. I don't know how many are up there, but it's a pretty good sized wall going of senior pictures. And I would say about 85% of them are girls. And part of that is because, one, guys aren't always like, hey, I got a senior pic for you, to another guy. And I don't know why that is. Like, do you think this is sending a message to me, bro? Like,
don't you want my pic, baby?
Yeah, it's like, because if that's the way you're thinking, you have to also be thinking about it from the girls. Now we're all uncomfortable. So yeah. So it's like, no, I think girls are just, again, more open. Guys aren't open to their emotional expression. And I think this is like an emotional thing. Here's this picture. So I get really excited when a guy gives me the picture, because I'm like, yes, let's go. I finally have one. I can't wait to put you up on this wall. It's going to be awesome. And also it'll balance the ratio a little better, because it absolutely looks like a wall that a serial killer would have. But I have had so many girls come into psychology, because that's the way that goes. Like, guys don't gravitate towards psych. Much better now this year. Much more balanced. I'd say my first period is 50-50 in my mental and social health class, which is amazing. So excited about that. I find that I connect with girls really easily, and they connect with me really easily. And I think it's because I'm open. Many of them, it's because they might not get that at home. They have good relationships with mom, but none with dad, if dad's even involved. So being able to be that person, be that ear, be that father figure. I just had a lot of girls go through my program, and I think part of that is like, I know that I connect better with girls, and I'm afraid if I have a boy, I feel like I might connect even less to that kid than I would, which is stupid, but it's one of those parent fears. We got a lot of stupid parent fears. Parent fears are dumb, because ultimately, when you get there, it's like, well, I don't have control over this ride anyway. I can only do what I can. There's no right way to do anything, because everything is different. And it's just, most doctors, most experts go with your gut anyway. So it's like, all right, I got to just figure this out. Like, kids acting up. What should I do? If it were me and I was going like how I was raised or how old me and all that stuff, because ADD, I got in trouble a lot when I was younger because my parents didn't know how to do anything with ADD because nobody really got it. They couldn't understand why my room was destroyed when they told me to clean my closet.
Okay.
Because I tear everything out first. And then as I tear it out, I'm like, well, I got to organize this stuff. So I pull it all out of boxes and bins, and I'd find little things and be like, well, shit, this is a gun from a G.I. Joe that I played with 10 years ago. And that's in the basement. And then I go into the basement and put it where the G.I. Joes are, except they're not in the right spot. So I got to organize that. And it's got to be now. And suddenly it's like disasters everywhere. And all they did was say, clean your room. And what I did was destroy it entirely to clean it. But they don't know that second piece. It's just, why aren't you doing what I told you? So I don't blame them for that. Like it's complicated. And I was always worried that if something like that comes up, I'm going to get frustrated because of my inability to control my emotions. And I find myself doing that a lot. And I got to walk away from it and come back later and when I'm in a better frame of mind and just go like, it's a 7-year-old kid. Like they're not personally attacking me here. They're 7. They just want to go play Roblox or something. Like that's it. But when I initially found out, absolutely elated. I don't know that it ever changed anything for me because I was always going to do whatever I could anyway. I want to say like, oh, I was going to play baseball with my son in the backyard and all that stuff. I could do all that with her if she wants to. Shit, like there's probably a video floating around of me getting DDT'd by her. So so I know Tyler's seen the live show. And it's she likes to give me a Freya splash. It's a modified frog splash where she doesn't get her knees down in time and she breaks my ribs. So it's painful because sometimes she'll be like, no, I just want to watch my show, and then suddenly she'll get up and punch me and go, let's fight, right when I'm like falling asleep.
Oh no, you're not gonna get sleep.
Nope. All right, let's go in the other room. Jess is like, be careful. One of us always gets hurt when we do it. Just I don't like this. Just be careful. And I'm like, we're shutting the door. We're falling off this thing. Let's just shut the door.
Boiler room brawl.
Yeah, all the time. She'll hit me with a pillow. I'll hit her with a pillow. Like she'll hit me as hard as she can when she slaps me and stuff. I'll smack her in the back pretty good. Like and she'll go, that was a good one. Like it's great. If anybody ever walked in on that part and had no idea what was happening, CPS would be around the corner, like the
Lord, you didn't give it a Gunther.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, she's done it because, like, a lot of times it's when I'm getting ready for bed, so I don't have a shirt on, so she's just like, I got handprints on my back when I walk out, and yeah, it's fun, man. Like it's a blast, and we don't get to do it enough, to be honest. And I wish we could do it more. So hopefully that happens a little bit more frequently because I love doing it. And I don't think it's any different than what I would have been doing with a boy.
No, the reason I asked that because I like the way my kids, it was 2 boys and 2 girls.
Mm-hmm.
So when Mia, who's the oldest girl, she was on her way. I was working at a cafe / bar, and of course that lifestyle, you're getting off at 1-2 o'clock in the morning, or you kind of still need to wind down, don't really want to go home yet, we're in the city, go to the bar, have a couple drinks, last call is 4 o'clock, and I'm getting home like 4:30 in the morning. And long story short, my wife kind of gave me the okay of, okay, well, get all this out your system, because once the baby girl comes in. And in my mind, I thought that also, like, all right, once my daughter comes in, it's me going out, staying out to 4, 5, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. That's done. I mean, yeah, you would think, oh, you got 2 boys, yeah, but shoot, they know where daddy's heart is. My baby girl, okay, I gotta adjust, right? Now, for my youngest, main event K, she's 6 years younger than her sister. So the first 3 were pretty much 2.5 years apart each, and then you had a 6-year gap. So, not to tell too much of my wife's business, but needless to say, we were both in denial because of stuff that happened prior that we was going to be able to have another child. So, we wasn't prepared at all. So, like literally, Kayla was born. Kayla was 3 weeks early. Kayla came 3 weeks early, and Kayla was born. And me and my brother, we drove down to Pennsylvania and got all the stuff taken care of because all right, we got to go pick Kayla up from the hospital or whatever. So we didn't even have a chance to have a shower. That's how early she was. Now with Kayla, we babied her, like spoiled her. That's the best way I could say. We spoiled her to the umpteenth degree.
I feel that.
Like only up until maybe I want to say early this year, I still had, I want to say her 4th grade picture on the sun visor of my car. And I took it down, but I was comfortable enough to take it down because what it really was doing to me so constantly was I'm looking at her as not 17. I'm looking at her as an elementary school age child. Yeah. So I start having to realize, like, okay, I have to kind of like lengthen the rope. Like, okay, you can go out. I mean, look, your sister was going out. Your brothers were going. I gotta let you experience being a teenager. I can't, and plus it's like I really have to trust that what me and your mother instilled in you is going to be good enough. It's good enough that the right for trial and error. But
right.
With Kayla, and this is where my attention just goes because I lost my train of thought. But this bear is called Jetty. His name is Jetty.
Of course.
I just received this. If you look,
look at that.
This is my birthday present.
It's awesome.
It's a Build-A-Bear. My daughter, Kay, she got me a Build-A-Bear for my birthday. When she gave it to me, because she went to Build-A-Bear, and I didn't know. She said, I'm going with my friend to Build-A-Bear. It's in the city, it's like near Rockefeller Center. And I am definitely afraid of my daughter getting on the train, especially now. But I was like, that was one of the occasions. All right, I got to let her go. So you're with your friend. Go ahead. Y'all going early enough. Should be all right. Little did I know she was going to Build-A-Bear for this. So she said something happened. She wasn't able to do it then, so she had to order him. And so today's Sunday. So Friday night, I come in. I'm taking my stuff off at the door. She's like hiding behind the door, and I'm like, "What's the matter?" She was like, "Go in the bedroom." I said, "All right, can I take my stuff off first?" She was like, It came. Your present came. Go in the bedroom." I go in the bedroom, sitting on which go laid against my pillow, with the birth certificate behind it. So his birthday is August 5th, 2024. They spelt his name wrong, so she scribbled his name wrong. She scribbled out his name and wrote Jetty, and I literally almost came to tears. Like nowadays I cry at a drop of a dime. But I'm hugging her, and she's like, "Dad," "Dad, you're about to cry?" I'm like, "Yeah." She was like, "Why?" I'm like, "Because this meant the world to me." Especially, and not I'm not trying to rank them in order of importance, but from her in particular, because it kind of clarified that, darn, my baby girl is not a baby no more. Like October, she'll be 18. She went, she had a summer job, and she here, Dad, and it just like it really touched me. Like Stitch, even though I don't think you could see him. Stitch, he was I think he was a birthday present or Father's Day present. Pretty much, he was a present from Mia. And then Cloudy in the middle. I just took Cloudy because that's me. That's actually Mia's. But yeah, but when it comes, but when it, getting back to what I was saying, it changed me because it changed how I look at women.
Yeah.
So, because I think
that's a good point. Yeah,
Mia was born. Yeah. I was 23 when Mia was born. So I'm married. I'm at the time straight now and everything, but at the same time, I'm still have youngish women's views. Like once she's there, I'm cognizant enough knowing, all right, when she gets older, she's going to be the object of somebody's affection.
Yeah.
Probably, hopefully not a slickster like myself. And even now when she dating and everything, I tell them, like, don't you realize I'm your secret weapon? You're supposed to, I give you gems. I could see it from a mile away when they come with that mild-mannered demeanor. Hey, hello, Mr. Stephens. How you doing? Nice to meet you. I can smell the bullshit. I can smell it.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're sheep in wolf's clothing. As soon as you get my daughter alone, you're gonna try to. It's my job to arm her with all the bullshit that's gonna come at her. Like, nope, got it. I understand it. No, my father taught me that. The boys, I can have a conversation with them, and for the most part, I used to tell them, like, your first time, it should be with somebody you love, and of course, you tell them that and everything. Yeah. And then I remember my late brother, he tells me, I told him that, and he was like, Mike, he's like, you think they thinking about that shit? They're thinking about some ass.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
When you're thinking about that, when you were 14, 15, and you got your first piece, when you're thinking about that, I'm like, well, my first love was my first. It's like, all right, fine. They're not thinking about that. But I everything to bring this full circle, everything revolves around me being a parent. Now me being a grandparent. Because I got four grandchildren. Once again, 2 and 2. 2 oldest of the boys, 2 youngest of the girls. And I really gravitated to that. I embrace that. I'm like, look, you call me grandpa if y'all want. They call me pop. Not a problem. Listen, I made it to 48. I made it to have 4 grandchildren. That's a blessing.
Yeah.
I'm not ashamed. I love the fact that, I wish I could see them more, but the best thing about being a grandfather or grandparent, same thing. It's similar to being an aunt and an uncle. Like, you could spoil them, you could give them order, and then you go.
Yep.
There you go. Pop loves you. See you in a couple months.
Yep.
Great.
Yeah.
But last but not least, because I can't have this without, like, duh. I made a point not to talk wrestling. Yeah, I've had my little wrestling thing, but made a point not to talk wrestling because I'm like, no. I just felt like we had so much things to cover because it's been so long. I was like, it's not the last time, just the first time, so we can get in depth in wrestling and everything. But it's as plain as the title. Starting the podcast, Origins of GI. Go.
So I talked to, what a setup. Oh man, I'm trying to figure this out. Where was the beginning? I'll start at the very beginning. It was the pandemic. It was we were shut down. It was May and I had nothing to watch. I had completed Netflix. I think I completed all of the shows. Everything was done. And it was me and Tyler and Ben Anderson, who we were all colleagues. And, I've known Ben for, 18 years. And Tyler and Ben would bounce back and forth to talk about wrestling. And every once in a while, I'll be like, oh yeah, I watched that. I watched WCW, watched Attitude Era, all this stuff. They were talking about Bret Hart, and Tyler kept bringing up like people I don't know who Braun Strowman was, and all these people. And I was like, you know what the hell? I'm going to fire this up. I'm getting the WWE network. God, I miss the network. And I'm going to watch Raw from 96 onward and just kind of relive those days. And I just want to watch it, see if it was as good as I remember. And it was as good as I remember, storytelling wise, in ring wise. I didn't know any better because I was just starting out back again. And I was like, yeah, that's exactly what I remember. And then I got hooked. And then I was telling Tyler how much I've been watching it. He's like, you got to watch AEW. And I was like, I don't want to watch this. I don't want to watch AEW. Like, AEW, who cares? And he's like, no. Chris Jericho's in it. You were just talking about Jericho in his debut. And I was like, well, I'll give it a shot because it's like the only guy I'm going to know on there, right? Like, I'm not going to know who any of these other people are. And then, Billy Gunn, Taz, a bunch of familiar faces were actually there, but I didn't know that. So I fired up AEW in the summer. And I think in the summer, I believe the first or second episode I watched had an anniversary recently. So it must have been August or July. And that was the best friends, I guess, LAX street fight. Okay. It was Santana Ortiz against Trent and Chuck, where Orange popped out of the trunk. It was that, and it was before the Mimosa Mayhem stuff and all of that. But that was the first time I'd actually committed to watching it because he had sent me Pac and Orange Cassidy clips, and I was like, "This is ridiculous and amazing. I got to watch this." And then it led me into the street fight, that episode, and I was like, "All right, I'm in. This feels familiar. This feels like WWE back in the '90s, not or WWF before WWE." And I started watching it, and school year goes by. Tyler decides he's going to leave and head back up to the Phoenix area, go to Cactus. I got him a Darby Allin cameo. We all pitched in to get him a Darby cameo to send him off. He was TNT champ at the time, so he has the belt on his shoulder. And we made him a custom wrestling belt with like MHS Tigers on the front. And then all the plates are like the classrooms or the classes he taught.
Oh, wow.
So either in or, yeah, it was really cool. Really proud of that. Spent a long time on that, trying to get it right. And then stealthily asking questions to people to try to figure it out. It's cool. Gold plates and a blue leather belt for the Marana colors, blue and gold. And we sent him off. And Jess started talking to me about like, yeah, I might start this podcast. Because I had told her I wanted to start a podcast forever ago because I think it would be really fun to call and find out like weird or interesting stories from small towns, like calling historical societies and all these things and doing interviews with people that live there to go like, well, tell me about this town and tell me the craziest story that's happened in Douglas, Arizona, because nobody knows what the hell that is. That's what I wanted to do. And I was like, but I don't really want to do it. Like somebody else can do that.
Yeah.
Jess took it because it was just going to be called Small Town USA. Okay. And she and Carmen were like, yeah, we're going to do this. We're going to do Small Town. We're going to make it this. Wow. So that's why the first few episodes are like interviews with people from those towns. It just ended up being really difficult to try to get people to actually come on. So the show evolved over time. And around that time, she was working with one Jabari Ali Davis. And Jabari is, one of the co-founders of 19 Media, currently working for iHeart and doing lots of really cool things with Mad Boosties. And I believe at the time he was doing NBA Finals File with Robert Horry. Yeah. And they needed another podcast. And I got super scared when they were like, well, why don't have a meeting? You guys could do a podcast. I don't know anything about doing a podcast. So Jess was telling me about it. It's 19 Media Group. It's this Black-owned, Black-founded podcast. And I had told her, like, I want to do the show with Tyler. Yeah. I think it would be cool for us. We're talking wrestling every day anyway. I feel like we could do this. We could make it interesting. We could do some cool stuff. And it's funny because I was sitting with Jess on the couch. And I was like, oh, they asked you to be on there. And I'm like, isn't this about amplifying voices? I guess you guys work your women, but it's like Black-owned, Black-founded podcast media group. I don't know if you know this, but you're not black, and neither is Carmen. So I was confused at the time, and I didn't say that out loud, but I was like,
but it's a thought. Like
I was like, So when I was sitting there on the couch, I was like, why does he even want to meet with me? This is so stupid. It's like, we're doing this podcast. It's me and Tyler. Like, I'm not black. And she goes, Tyler is. Didn't even enter my mind, man. Like, I did not want to have the interview because I was like, I cannot be showing up to this thing. And like, my ghost looking pasty ass out there, like, hello, my name is Brad. My name is Brad Winchester. I'd really like to do a podcast for your media group. I think I'd fit in great. Like, I did not want that to happen. It's how I was feeling the whole time. I'm like there was one. So when I was in 2000, 99, 2000, whenever Warning came out, the Warning album from Green Day, we went to the Eagles ballroom in Milwaukee, and my co-pilots in this car, we shoved 5 people into like a V-dub Rabbit that had no air conditioning. Just like this, 8 hours in the car to get to this part of Milwaukee. It's downtown. The Ambassador's across the street where Jeffrey Dahmer ate people. Like, it's not exactly in this glorious part of the city, but it's a dope venue, and it was like almost 100 degrees outside. The building also didn't have air conditioning. So we're like waterlogged leaving this place. People were passing out and being taken out in stretchers. We got in that car and we need to go get gas. So we stopped. Well, the guy driving took the wrong road. We're going down a one-way street into a very black neighborhood. And it's just a clown car full of white people. And we pulled up to the gas station. And I don't know if you know this about the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. Not a lot of bars on windows in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, because there's 1 crimes a year in those places. And
you know what this reminds me of?
Yeah,
you ever saw that movie Judgment Night?
Oh, what was it? When Bieber got pulled over, or when his car broke down in that neighborhood and everybody's filming Justin Bieber in his car. That's exactly what I was thinking when we're in there. And everybody was cool. Like, they're all hanging out, they're all drinking and stuff. And I was like, just get gas, like just gas, and go like, how the hell do we get back to the interstate? They're going to laugh at us and then tell us go that way. And that's going to be the end of it.
Yeah.
That's it. So I got out of the car and I was getting gas, and this dude walks up to the window and is like looking right into the window, like, what's going on in here?
Yeah.
And my girlfriend screamed.
Oh, wow.
That's when I knew. But I remember that moment because it was like exactly how I thought. We got gas. They told us go that way, and we left. These were like 2 a.m. It's not like it was like, a convenient time for people. And there were like 20 people hanging out in the parking lot. Which I was like, all right, cool. Ask one of them. What do they care? But then that happened. But what I was thinking is, I'm pulling up to a parking lot in 19 Media Group. I'm going to this gas station, and I'm the driver of this little V-dub Rabbit getting out. And I felt like it didn't belong there. And then everybody just made fun of me. I told Tyler after the meeting, and because I thought it was so stupid and funny. Again, you don't even see it when it's yourself. And because I was like, I don't want to take somebody's spot. I don't like what are we doing? And then they were like, all right, let me know what you want. And it was so wide open that it freaked me out, because it was like, well, when do you want to start? And I was like, when do you want me to want to start? It was one of those things, because like, I don't know. I'm joining a media group. Aren't you my boss?
Yeah.
And it was sort of not like that. It was just sort of, no, we want you to create stuff. Let me know when you're doing it. At that time, we weren't on like as more, as time has gone on, and we've all learned from, especially other shows, that the contract thing is not just a platitude. It's more of a, we want you to do certain things. If you're going to do it every 2 weeks, do it every 2 weeks. If you're going to do it every week, do it every week. If you can't, It's all right if you do it every once in a while. We just want you to be consistent. Tell me what you need and go from there. And we have reposted an episode one time, I believe, maybe 2 times in however many years, 3 years. But it was that initial, like, I don't know what we're going to do. I don't know what the show is going to be. And when we were talking to Jabari, I was like, well, I'm trying to figure out like what makes us different. Like, why would people listen to us? What can we do that's different? Why us? And how do we set ourselves apart? Because there are a lot of damn wrestling podcasts. And how do we make ourselves unique and special? And Jabari was like, well, I do an NBA podcast. And I believe that if what you do is good and you come with quality content, you're consistent, and you care about your product that you're putting out, it doesn't matter that other people are doing it. People are going to tune in anyway. And that really has resonated with me over the years since whatever it was 2021 when we started this thing.
Yeah.
I think it's 2021, 2022. I can't remember. It's been so long that
21.
Yeah, it's just September-ish of 21, I think. Oh yeah, we're coming up on an anniversary here. So might have to talk about that and figure something out. It's wild because it was audio only, no aspirations to do YouTube, and then you really having no idea what I was doing. So I appreciate you saying I had a background in graphic design. I have a background in design through my master's program, but it's more visual design, not graphic design, which is like, do these words look like they're readable? And do I have good headlines and headings? Everything else is based on what I think good sets look like. So that part's true. But, you know, I asked for a lot of feedback. And what I've learned is as long as you're consistent, it kind of doesn't matter. You just want to make sure that there's all this visual messaging that's taking place that tells people what the product is so that they don't have to guess. So there's a lot of little things like in the Small Town USA show, when I tweaked the logo for them, for example, there's like little city streets in the background. Well, the reason that it's like this is because I wanted them to look like waveforms. I wanted them to look like audio files, so people could look at that and go, all right, audio. That was the whole point. So it's stuff like that, being intentional with those things. Your logo. All right, what are people going to look at and think of New York? Of course, it's the statue. The skyline's another one, but it's got to be the statue, because it's like, from an outsider, that's the first thing I think of. If somebody says New York City, I'm like, Statue of Liberty.
Yeah.
I'm not like, yeah, the Washington Bridge. That's not my first thought. It's afthought, but it's, you know, Empire State Building's probably next, maybe the Chrysler Building, stuff like that. But you can't be called Salty Thoughts and not have salt in the background. So you have to have those little speckles everywhere. And otherwise it's just not going to work. You and I talked at length about the colors, and I made sure to match color codes from certain places and put them in there to represent those things. So being really intentional. And what I've learned is, when I look back at my old stuff, even though I was consistent with everything, it sucks ass. It's so bad. It's so bad. Like, oh, I look at it and I'm embarrassed. Like I just go, this is,
you're hard on yourself to begin with.
Of course. Totally 100%. Nothing will ever be good enough.
And I've seen the progression from just specifically GI, like, you know, when y'all come up with the logos,
yeah,
and, you know, and the backgrounds and everything. And I want to, and then now, especially like the beginning video where you have to run up music. I'm like, ooh, like, shoot, that song just gets me, like, it just gets you ready. And then, yeah, like, I mean, even the thing that you did with me and Mo, for Hidden Gems Football. I mean, because, you know, I'm always emotional. I'm like, oh, that is so cute. That's sweet. Like, I appreciate, you know. I was like, wow, God, that's the missing piece. That's the missing piece right there. We had the music. Now you got. Now, so as soon as you turn it on, you know, all right, it's a football show.
Yeah.
It's a football show. All right, yeah, to say Hidden Gem Football, but it's a football show.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough though, because like I look at that and I'm like, that looks like my old stuff for GI. I don't like that anymore. That's why I was like, I want to make these other things, and if they use them, cool. If not, I got to get it out of my system right now, so I feel better about myself. That's legitimately why I start doing those things. I'm like, I want to help my friends, and also it will help me. There are 2 benefits to this thing, and that there's no such thing as an unselfish good deed that doesn't involve with your direct death. There just isn't. So like the only way for it to be unselfish is you die because you're not around to enjoy it. But otherwise, you giving away your money to somebody is going to make you feel good because you help them. That's not unselfish. It's just you still get to feel good. You can't escape it. Don't care. The end. So I have to come to grips with that sometimes of go like, yeah, it's going to make me feel good too. And ask myself, am I doing it for me or for them? And this was legitimately because I was like, this looks real bad if you're going to use the little name things on it and then have the thing on the bottom, the ticker. And all I got to do is move that logo up a little bit and then move these things down, maybe get rid of the footballs if you have another guest, and then boom, done. It's not repeating itself. It'll look better. All of those things. Just always trying to tweak it so it's like that. Because if that one little bit that changes is the reason that somebody goes, yes, I'll sponsor that because it looks good, then done. Easiest change in the world. But I used to also think like I'd overproduce everything. I would overcreate everything. I would overplan everything. More is more, not less is more. More is more. So let me have borders around everything. My overlay's got all this shit all over it. When in reality, now it just says Gimmick Infringement on the top.
Yeah.
It's got our names and that's it. And they're all translucent. There's no borders, no backgrounds, none of that stuff because we don't need all that. And I've grown from that. And I'm really happy with that because I feel like it's a more mature version of what we're trying to do. And it's a more consistent version. I haven't changed the pod art because I like the pod art with the Lucha logo, but I also feel like for branding purposes, I like GI because the GI, it's cool on the site. It's cool when we use it in things, but the Lucha logo, ultimately I can look at that and go, well, if I know what that looks like, it's a wrestling podcast, except as Jess has pointed out, it looks like a Spider-Man podcast. I got aggressively mad at that because it does look like a superhero mask, but Lucha masks inspired those masks. That's why it's like, okay, just because I know history doesn't mean other people don't do. So you could look at that and be like, oh, superhero. I don't know. I want to listen to this. Wrestling might get them to turn it off faster if they just stumble on it. But it's just the GI doesn't tell me wrestling. The Lucha thing doesn't tell me wrestling. Honestly, my favorite logo is the denim jacket with the staples and the blood spatter and the patch of Gimmick Infringement in it.
Okay.
And I don't know if you even remember it because we only used it for about 6 months because it was hard to put on merch because we were like, I can't download a transparent PNG file to put on a jacket or on a mug. When we opened the merch store, I was I got to
go. I remember the denim. Matter of fact, I want to say my previous iteration, I think I was on.
Pretty sure you were
the episode with the denim. Mm-hmm. I think it was the Survivor Series episode with the original Bloodline War Games. I think that was a denim. I think that was denim.
Might have been. Yeah, it might have been. I can't remember because it's been so long, but it's like
that was 22.
Yeah, that would make sense then, because I think that was our second version of it. Because I love the suplex guy, and it's been in all of our logos since then. It's in the mask. It's just not in the straight up GI logo. Because I saw somebody, Matt Cardona or somebody, made like a little WWF like light out of little neon strips that was going to go in the figure collection. So I saw that and I was like, oh, I should do that with the GI logo. And making that logo was really challenging because all of those lines are individual, and then putting the effects into it. And for the simplest logo that I've made outside of the German suplex guys, that was the hardest one to make by far. And it's the simplest one, but the podcast taking off from very simple, humble origins and then getting us to where we are has offered us opportunities to work with other people. Always trying to do cross collaboration stuff with other people, other podcasts. We have something hopefully in the works for the future here that I won't spoil here now, but it'll involve a lot of different people from a lot of different podcast groups. If it works out. So it should be a lot of fun if we can get it going. A few people have already said yes. It's just if they keep being creepy and weird with the thirsty pictures on the timeline, I don't really want them on my show. So
gotcha.
Yeah, like we get it. These are in shape, muscular people with beautiful bodies. I don't need you retweeting it with some creepy eyeball emojis. Like, stop.
I get it. Like,
keep it in the DMs.
You know, this has been so wonderful. And fortunately and unfortunately, you were right. But I swear, in my mind, going into this, I'm like, okay, I got everything which go outlined and everything.
I remember you said that. It was words you said.
Hour 45 minutes tops. But I don't regret anything. Especially when we start talking about the mental health, I was like, you know what? All right, this is. There was one of the reasons why I was like, you know what? I need to get to this because that was really the crux of the conversation that I wanted to have for this episode. Speaking of GI, in closing, I've said it on HGF. I've said it on this platform, but I'll say it again. When it comes to the 19 Media Group as a whole, I mean, they've told y'all also that y'all are truly the heart and soul of that group. Because I want to say one of the callings for y'all is it's almost similar to the Le Batard show, where they always say that, you know, it's a pirate ship. Everybody come, everybody mingle, and you know, everybody has the platform over here. Like, for this gentleman right here, entirely included, they have their own website, gimmickinfringement.com.
Gimmickinfringementpod.com.
Okay. See? Gimmickinfringementpod.com.
I think the other one's probably bringing you to Mark Sterling.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah.
So what they did for yours truly. Now, yeah, I can spout for anybody else, but no, this is the salty thoughts of Mike Steph, so I'm going to talk about me for once. What they did for yours truly, they actually have me a little tiny section with all my stuff that people that traffic their website can access me, and that was off 2 appearances, and of course, you know, numerous back and forth in the DMs, whatever. But what type of people normally would even roll out the red carpet for someone that's, all right, it's a friend of the show, but you know, it's too complicated to really get into. But you know, I'm a part. It's like I'm like Switzerland of 19. Like, I'm part of 19 based on the HGF, but technically I'm not a part of 19, right?
No, you're a part of 19. You can't say that anymore. You are as part of 19 as I am. Listen, man, you are a part of 19. Stop it. You're in HGF. HGF is a 19 podcast that makes you part of 19. It's not a you're a guest in 19. It's not HGF with Mo with special guest. That's not the way this is. It's HGF and you're a part of it. You're part of 19. You, if you're not, should be included in that 19 group chat, Mo. You make that happen. Because you are in 19 media, like the end, period, full stop. It's not just because you're a guest on our show. Mike Steph, ladies and gentlemen, 19 Media Group member. Declaring it now.
Okay. I guess what I was trying to get to, and he kind of just bottom lined it. They've welcomed me into the family from day one, and that's just the type of people that they are, type of men that they are, the type of magnanimous dudes that they are. That this is why I consider them my friends from the left coast, my friends from the desert. And I swear, last year, I know I was hinting at it, and I was actually serious about it, and I forgot. So it just went right past. I was gonna go out. I'm coming out to Arizona one of these Octobers. I'm coming down to Arizona.
Great time to go.
This year, I told my cousin I was gonna visit him, so I'm gonna go visit him. But hopefully next year, whatever. I'm coming down to Arizona. Maybe it's by myself, me and the missus. Probably me by myself, because my wife would be out to school. You know the thing. But these are the times that I live for. These are the times that I look at. I look at the fact that there's so much camaraderie between all of us that I'm actually so grateful and humbled that we was able to finally make this happen. I'm so humbled that this is going to be a 2-part episode. Because I don't want anything to be lost in translation. I don't want anything to be lost in fatigue. Because I look, a 3-hour episode is a 3-hour episode, no matter how much you like it. 3-hour raws can be a chore. So listen,
and that's with commercial breaks.
Yeah, that's with commercial breaks. This is 3 hours straight. No chaser. So this is gonna be a 2-part episode. You'll notice at the end of the second part, because guess what? Like, shit don't change. I still don't edit. So pretty much chop off, come back next week. So, but no. All seriousness, no, I really appreciate you, Brad. Like, I really appreciate you on and off the camera, both as a colleague and as a friend. And there's not enough words that I can stutter through that could actually explain and espouse how much I'm really, really happy that we was able to get this done.
Likewise, man. I'm so glad we finally got to able to do this, but you know how much I love you. Me and Tyler talk about you all the time, always positively. I'm so thankful that we connected, because I don't think this happens without a platform like this, because we are 3,000 miles ish apart. It's a big physical gulf, but I've never really felt that far from you.
And you know what this proves, these last 3 hours on this stream, is the fact that Tyler's Wi-Fi or internet connection is severely lacking, because we haven't had a lag in 3 hours. And I'm not even hardwired. So I don't know what's going on with Tyler. I don't know if he's still trying to use the hotspot or if it's iPhone. Listen, Tyler, I love you. You know I have to crack a joke, because there wouldn't be an episode with you not here that I don't crack a joke on you. but yeah. So hopefully next time, hopefully before the end of the year, we can actually get a threesome over here.
That would be fun.
You know what? Yeah, threesome. Yeah, I said it. A threesome over here. It's a little it's a little looser. They don't have to worry about losing any sponsors, and they could be as blue as they want to be, because guess what? I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Always down for a loose threesome.
Yeah. Not too loose, but yeah, loose. I mean, depending on what part of loose. You know what? I think on that note, you need to plug some shit.
Sounds like we're already planning to.
Yeah, exactly. As soon as the plug came out of my mouth, I'm like,
yeah, I was like, I heard you say damn, and I was like, you could have said anything else, and it would have. Yeah. All right. Well, okay. GI Pod, at GI Pod. You can follow us there. You can follow me at Wind Duster on Twitter. I think it's at The Real Wind Duster on Instagram. Not a lot of things to post on Instagram other than pictures of Freya and occasional weather things, but I do share Tyler's stuff on there. Speaking of 4AZ Teach, you can find him at 4AZ Teach. I believe it's 4AZ Teach and not 4AZ on socials. Support him. That's the number 4AZ. If you Google the number 4AZ, you'll find it. GimmickInfringementPod.com. You can follow us there. We have things we write there. We have things. You can find the audio. You can find links to other stuff. You can find the tab for Peelcast, which will be making a return here in the future. Working on that. Lots of really good people in my life doing really cool things. Support what you believe in. Remember to be kind. Take care of your mental health. Best things I got.
Thank you. That pretty much says it all. I guess I'll be remiss if I don't do my requisite. Salty Thoughts and Mike Step podcast, the audio version is forever on the following platforms: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Music, among others. The audio version, new episodes drop on Wednesdays, even though I need to change that to Thursdays because by Wednesday comes, I'm like I'm just uploading the shit. So check me up on the social medias at Mike Steffens _ on X, formerly known as Twitter, with a PH. Thank you, Brad. I love when you say that. Check me out on the gram at Mike _ Steph, and check me out on TikTok at Mike Steph _. Cash at me some money at $ Donnie Mike, $ Donnie Mike. Look, I told y'all, if y'all want me to go 1080p, y'all got to give me some bread. And my not new blog so much, but my blog, nevertheless, MikeStephOrg.wordpress.com, where and the reason I say this is because YouTube has been it's been on some bullshit with me. I don't know what I said. I might have went over the line or something. But regardless, if I happen to get off or if I happen to get shadow banned on YouTube, you can check out the episodes on MikeStephOrg.wordpress.com for the latest episodes. And I try to at least make a couple entries per month on topics that it's just better to be read instead of yelled at. So, one last thing. Last but not least, Hidden Gems Football, hosted by the Mojo King and myself, Mike Steph. New episodes drop each and every Thursday on the YouTube channel of the 19 Media Group. Check them out for our latest episode in which we preview the NFC North. And we got a whole bunch of surprises, little mini episodes that's coming up as soon as possible. And with all that being said, for this marathon edition, but y'all won't know that, I am Mike Steph. That is Mr. Winchester himself. This has been another great episode of Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph. Next week, I think I do got something else in mind. It's been a month of guests, and I think that's going to continue next week. But only one way to find out, and that would be to, of course, press the like button, press the subscribe button, press that notification button, so when I do drop, you will be the first ones to hear it. With all that being said, goodbye.